Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. If you do enjoy the content, please drop that like and subscribe. So I was actually about to record yesterday, but I fell asleep in the couch. It's been very busy days. Good busy, but yeah, quite taking the toll on me. So that's why I haven't recorded. Also, we've been discussing most of the things that have happened for quite a while. Once again, we were, I think, a little bit ahead of the market. I think if you look at yields, the bonds basically have started to recover. I'd like to see us closing the week above 89 on the TLT. We closed we were very close. Good enough. We've closed above certain levels in the stock market, which is good. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to go in a straight line to new all-time highs. That's very important for people to understand. But we have made a meaningful recovery. Crypto has its own cycles, as you guys know. Then people say, oh, crypto is behaving like a safe haven. Oh, crypto is behaving like a tech stock. Oh, crypto is behaving like... No, crypto follows its own cycles. And depending on what the others are doing, then people make these connections. Now, you can argue that, yes, crypto trades as a risk asset most of the time. But you have periods where it disconnects and usually tends to lead stocks. So once again, crypto bottom first, followed by basically going up as liquidity has been increasing in the system. Inflation keeps on being very down. There are some very strong rumors about the trade deals coming. I think the China one will be the worst one, the one to take longer. But I do believe things like South Korea, India, Vietnam, and the likes are more likely to materialize sooner rather than later. But obviously, we live in the era of impatience. So every week that we don't sign a deal, it seems like it's the end of the world. But the market is starting to sniff that the deal is indeed coming. And you can tell because the big money is actually, showing quite a bit their hand. Now, last Monday, I mentioned when we had the sell-off, I said, look, the sell-off was on very low volume. There's pretty much almost no one looking to take the bid. And you need to understand that usually the big institutions get information ahead of you and me. It's just the way it is. They have people positioned in certain areas that we don't. So when you start to see this positioning of, and this comfort with bonds, with US bonds, with US stocks, etc., usually precedes something. But we did go up a lot. So bear that in mind. If we do have some retracement, some pullbacks, that's going to be normal. I think GDP will come out next week. So it's going to be quite curious to see how it's going to look. And I think either next week or the other one, we're going to start seeing ISM, which is also going to be good. Obviously, if the GDP comes positive, then the likelihood of a recession, even if we have a Q2 negative, becomes substantially lower. So China is also considering to exempt certain US goods from the tariffs, just like the US did before. I just laugh that when Trump did it, it was caving, and now when the Chinese are considering doing it, all of a sudden it's strategic. It's just the media we have. It's just the reason why people trust. Why people trusting the media is at all-time lows. It's these dual criteria on same exact items. They get a completely different treatment depending on the participants. I would like to see some concrete developments in the conflict in Europe. I do believe we are also closer on that one rather than farther away. And once again, as I've been mentioning for weeks on this channel, India is the one that stands, in my view, to really benefit. Apple just announced that all the production of US iPhones that was made in China will be shifted to India by 2026. And it's very clear that India has been chosen as the preferred partner to eventually overtake China as the number one partner of the US. It's closer in terms of language, some degree culture, and to some degree, most importantly, when it comes to business, the comfort with English common law, which makes India a natural closer partner to the US than other regions would suggest. In terms of, as I mentioned, in terms of assets, we've been seeing quite a bit of recovery. Gold has been the one to sell off, and then gold miners as well. Gold had a very strong, and it's still in a very strong trend. I think you can start making the argument: was this a blow off top, or is just a retracement after a massive move? Both scenarios are possible. I think the more uncertainty you remove from the market, the less likely gold will be appealing. That's usually how it goes, particularly when it involves any kind of armed conflicts, etc. Gold usually takes some sort of a hit on that. Then the SEC has basically said that they will not amend the case against Richard Hart. So now Richard Hart is one of the 5% of people to actually defeat the SEC. Unlike what is reported, no, the SEC did not drop the case. The SEC was defeated, which is basically a judge has dismissed the entire thing. So no, it's not like the SEC going after and then, oh, actually, no, we're not going to go after, we're going to drop these. No, they went after, they lost, period. So let's not confuse. Once again, clarity and preciseness is very important when talking about certain subjects, because it's made deliberately to hide from you. Now, Ethereum has been seems to be above 1800 at the time of this recording. Obviously, it's still garbage pricing. However, it's just funny that as soon as Ren Nuna from Crypto Banter announced that he was selling his entire Ethereum stack and he could not think of any reason why people should hold Ethereum, we have basically done nothing but go up. That part is good. It's just funny how these things end up happening. I still believe that Ethereum will do quite well, much better in the cycle than people think, particularly when the rate cuts eventually come and the business cycle really kicks in. Andy is around $64 million, meaning more than a double from the recent correction. And HOPPY is now at 15 million, almost 3 times the recent correction. So as I mentioned before, extreme fear is the time to buy and extreme greed is the time to sell, but people don't want to hear it. People don't want, as I've mentioned before many times, people don't want Bitcoin at 75, 76, 78. They're going to want it at 120. It is what it is. We know the drill. Same thing with Ethereum. People won't want Ethereum at 1,500. They will want it back at 3,000, 4,000. So we know how this works. They don't want Solana under 100. They want Solana at 300. Same thing. They buy when they should be selling, and they sell when they should be buying. But that's the nature of the beast. So let's look at what happened to crypto. Bitcoin sold off from top to bottom around 30%. How does that compare to previous cycle? Pretty much identical. 2017, we had bigger corrections and more corrections, by the way, not just one. And 2021, we had bigger corrections as well. So what's different? Nothing. The difference is people forgot. And what seems to be happening is we are following the global liquidity once again. So financial conditions tightened and liquidity got dried up in late Q4 2024. We saw, because there's a delay between liquidity conditions and price performance, we saw the price performance go down, particularly in February, March, and beginning of April 2025. But what I was saying 1,000 times here is that in February and March, the same liquidity conditions were reversing aggressively. And actually, global M2 is almost at all-time highs. Actually, it's very, very, maybe it's even surpassed it already. So it's very, very close. But again, because the price was not matching what was happening, because people don't understand the concept of a lag. They couldn't see it. Since we are following the liquidity cycles, again, what has changed? The narrative. Oh, we are going up because of the new SEC guy. We're going up because tariffs are more moderated. We're going down because of tariff fears. We're going up because of friendliness of institutions and the regulators towards crypto. We're going up because of insert narrative. In my view, we are going up because of global M2. And we're going down despite, in the recent past, we were going down despite very good news. Why? Or very good fundamentals. Why? Because global M2 was going down. Because global M2 had gone down in the last quarter of last year, and financial conditions have tightened. And then you have your lag, price action reflects it, and now we can go up again. But people don't want to hear it because the price is down. So they want fear, collapse, it's the end, going to zero, Bitcoin 63K, Bitcoin 50K, or Bitcoin is in the bear market, Bitcoin is in a 50% bear. This to me was the best concept. 50% bear market, 50% bull market. Well, that way you're always right, ain't you? If you say, well, we may be in the bull market or in the bear market, sure, those are the options. That's like say, oh yeah, that team may win, lose, or draw. Yes. Or, oh, that team is fighting for the those two teams are fighting for the championship. Yeah. Either team A is going to win or team B. That's my prediction. Sure. That's how you get it always right. But that's okay. I'm still tied quite a bit in my conviction to Ethereum, which means that will take a little bit longer to prove everyone wrong eventually, once again. And I'm actually keen to see what's going to happen. Look, I also like to see the green in my portfolio. I also feel it when it's going down. Seems to me we are following the global M2 cycle, and then you can come up with fancy narratives. When it goes up, oh, it's going up because of insert narrative. Oh, it's going down because of insert narrative. Now, I know that I have to say this because people just don't. Does that mean that we're going to go up every single day, every single hour from here till December 2025? No. Most likely, this 30% correction was not the last one you're going to see. Keep that in mind. It's probably, and based on the previous cycles, it's not going to be the last one you're going to see. But next time we come to the same place, I hope we can understand. So for example, if from now on we start seeing liquidity conditions tighten again, meaning yields shoot up, like we just had a brief period where yields were shooting up but the dollar was coming down, so it's kind of 50-50. So expect some consolidation in a couple of months, for example. But let's say if we get to a position where yields shoot up and the dollar shoots up as well, that is tightening of financial conditions and global M2 is going down. Important to note. Is that what's happening right now? No. But if it happens in the future, you know there's going to be about a 100-day lag between that occurrence and the price performance. So yes, please, when we have the next correction, let's not lose our minds again. Let's not call for the bear market again. And let's not go completely ballistic. For you that listen to me, you listen to a lot of people in crypto usually. People that have been telling you that we are in a bear market, etc. Maybe you should consider if you're listening to the right people. That's for you to decide, not for me. And with that, guys, thank you very much. Don't forget to enjoy your weekend. I hope you guys are doing very well. I hope you're enjoying a little bit of green. Remember, we just gone up quite a bit this week. So it's normal that we're going to have some pullbacks and consolidations going forward. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.